Now, I am joined by Suella Braverman, and earlier today we gave protesters at Cambridge University the opportunity of a lifetime, really.
What are you here protesting about?
In this series of videos, I'm looking at the odd situation presented to us as the need to take sides regarding the Israel-Gaza conflict, with a strong influence coming from many media outlets and politicians supporting Israel, and any anti-war pro-Palestine protest being portrayed as violent with little evidence to prove such a claim. Here we have the time earlier this year where Suella Braverman, firmly on the side of Israel and working with GB News, went to a student protest with the obvious intent of stirring up something to get clickbait TV. But alas, her plan was foiled when the students decided not to engage.
Might not get a better opportunity than this to talk to
What's
someone.
your message to the Palestinian people? What's your message to Hamas? What's your message to Israel?
No? OK, well, look, we can just keep walking,
right.
can't we? We have since found one individual who would like to have their say with Suella. So welcome, Fiona. Thank you very much. Great to have you on the show. The National Campaigns Coordinator for the Revolutionary Communist Party, and Fiona has been actively involved in the student encampments. And, yeah, this is an opportunity now, I think, for a bit of engagement, a bit of dialogue, really, which is what we're after. So, Suella, is there anything you'd like to...
Thank you. Well, I respect your opinions and thank you for coming on to the show.
So watch here as Fiona Lali calmly dissects Suella Braverman's arguments, here showing that the conflict is nuanced and complicated and can't just be boiled down to the events that occurred last year on October the 7th.
To take part in a discussion. One of my first questions that I was very keen to ask, I mean, were you at the encampment?
The Cambridge one, but other ones.
Other ones, OK. And can I ask you what your view is of the events of October the 7th? What do you think happened on October the 7th in Israel?
Well, obviously the camps haven't started because of October the 7th specifically. Right. They're starting, I mean, this week in loads of encampments up and down the country. They've been, celebrating and having to, memorise the fact that this week commemorates the Nakba, which took place 76 years ago, which means catastrophe, which is a massive symbol of what Israel has been doing for the last 76 years. This isn't about October the 7th. And to start with that is just entirely disingenuous, I think, on your part. I really want to say that I think it's great, actually, that you went to that camp today and tried to talk to those students. And you kind of embarrassed yourself, I would say, whilst doing that, because it was a reminder for me, and I'm sure for other people watching, that actually the Palestine movement brought you down, and the Palestine movement has the potential to bring down lots of other Tory ministers and the whole Tory government, and not just the Tory government, I would say any government and any mainstream political party that is backing what Israel is doing right now, which is a genocide, and that's what people want to protest.
Do you want to come back to that?
Bringing down the government. So you're saying your encampment has nothing to do with the events of October the 7th or Israel's response to October the 7th.
Braverman seems to have little in her arsenal except trying to bait Lali by asking her about October the 7th again and again. But Lali shows that there is more to this conflict than this one event.
Is that what you're saying? It's totally detached to October the 7th and Israel's response?
The only thing that is detached, I would say, is actually your views and your approach to this whole situation and the whole of the Tory government. The people, the student protesters, are very attached to what is happening in Palestine, and they are doing what they can in order to stop universities who provide, I think, £450 million to the Israeli state, to the Israeli military, rather than investing in their own education and what they should be putting money into. You are the one, and your government is completely out of touch with what actually the majority of people in Britain think about what's happening. The majority of people in Britain do not support what Israel is doing and actually want us to stop sending weapons. And you were saying today that we should send more, which is completely opposed to what people in Britain actually want. So I think you're detached.
Click here for Braverman trying to bait those students.